Good afternoon from Los Angeles. It's Alissa, Coram, and Ed Carson here with a look at the stock market today. Today is Monday, February 25th. And on today's show, we're taking a look at 3 IBD 50 stocks showing compelling chart action. But before we do that, let's check in with the major indexes. We did finish up across the board, but well off of intraday highs. The NASDAQ finishing up just under 0.4%. The S&P up about 0.1%, and the Dow up about 0.2%. So not a great close.
Yeah, not a great close. There's a lot of good news with President Trump coming out and saying, yeah, we're close to a deal. Essentially, we're going to delay the tariffs.
Right.
The Shanghai Composite rose 5.6% on Monday. Really nice action. A lot of good stocks moving. I mean, it came off. On the other hand, I mean, the market's risen for 9 straight weeks.
Sure.
And we've had a lot of rallies on trade talk optimism. At some point, either we're going to need a deal, and even that might have a buy the rumor, sell the news kind of thing. The NASDAQ, it's getting to its highest level, at least intraday, since October. So we're clearing a lot of resistance. There's really not, at least on the NASDAQ, any resistance, you would think, until the all-time highs at this point. I mean, we can stall at any time,
Sure.
a negative headline, whatever, but from a chart perspective, it's starting to look like, hey, the next big roadblock would be those all-time highs.
Right, and I think something that you were also getting at was just, if you look at the rate of the decline and then the rate of the rally, we've gone up pretty sharply here. So seeing some of the gains slow down a little bit seems somewhat expected.
Yeah, it's unusual to have the market come back that fast. You fall fast and you slowly recover, and so, but not this time.
Yeah.
But I mean, so it would not be surprising to see that slow down, go sideways, just pause, whatever.
Right. It's been pretty impressive, and we also saw impressive moves from several growth stocks today, including financial software stock SS&C Technologies finished today up 2.5%, a little bit off of the intraday high along with the broad market here, but it did break out of a pretty deep cut base here, extending gains after it saw a pretty nice post-earnings session.
Yeah, I mean, it really gapped up. It looked like it was going to break out on earnings last week, when it really strong earnings growth, sales growth accelerating. Part of that's on acquisitions, but you can see, whoa, as that stock ran up quickly.
Yeah.
It actually paused. It was sort of, that can actually be nice. I mean, it wasn't a handle, but it has a little bit of that shakeout feel to get maybe a few people knock out. The relative strength line has just gone from 0 to hero kind of thing, basically straight
Right.
up along with the stock. So nice action here. This is just really impressive action.
That's right. Top composite rating, and also featured in some of our stocks to watch articles recently. So this has been on our radar. So we'll have to see if it can continue to hold these gains and provide a good chance for a buying opportunity.
Yeah.
And we also want to take a look at Palo Alto Networks ahead of its quarterly earnings report Tuesday after the close. That stock finished the day up about 1.6% in slightly above average volume here. And Palo Alto in the cybersecurity software space hit a new high for the relative strength line before the stock is hitting a new price high. So that's pretty bullish.
Yeah, that's a really good point. That really shows you that it's leading the market. I mean, to have the RS line ahead of the stock, great. I mean, the stock is closing in on that buy point again, a little bit like SS&C, sort of running straight up. So there hasn't been a pause, and so it hasn't been a shakeout. Cup bases, that's one reason why cup bases sometimes are a little less likely to work than cup with handles, but they can work just fine.
Right.
So this is interesting. They're expected to, I think, a 26% earnings per share gain and a 26% revenue gain. It's a strong group, strong sector.
Yes.
So it'll be interesting to see how that does tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll be keeping our eyes on Palo Alto after the close. And before the open Tuesday, we will be getting results from Autohome out of China. And that stock finished the day up 2.5% in heavy volume here. On Friday, it had a big move, clearing the 200-day line above a downward sloping trend line as well. So technically a breakout here, but still well off of its its 52-week high.
Yeah, I mean, that's one possible early entry for aggressive investors. There's sort of another buy point with the sort of a cup base. It's a little unusual. You know, there's sort of like a 12-week or so cup base you can see from a few months ago. That's
base
part of
a
a
base.
Base within a base with a much larger consolidation. Though the issue there is that there's still overhead resistance, you might argue, above that cup base, and so that's something to be watching for. But you know, this is still something impressive. This is one of the China names. A lot of China names were big winners today. Obviously, some of them came off their highs, but they were still big winners.
Right.
This was our IBD 50 growth stock of the day.
That's right.
And you know, just to mention, Palo Alto was our IBD 50. You know, was
stock of the day.
Stock of the day, and you know, it was just the stock of the, not IBD 50, but the stock of the day. And we added SS&C to
leaderboard.
To leaderboard. So we really gave it a lot of medals, sort of like here, a lot of awards.
Yeah.
A little early, but so this is one. Obviously, it's been coming back. You know, there's not a whole, some of the China names have been coming out. They're doing well. Some of the bigger names, deeper base is not there. Alibaba's been acting better, but it doesn't have a buy point.
And earnings could be a catalyst here before the open. Revenue growth is expected to accelerate, with analysts projecting 25% top line growth. Last quarter, we saw 18% revenue growth from Autohome.
Yeah, and obviously, luckily, it's too late to really buy. I guess you could buy it after the close, but you want to be cautious about buying stocks before earnings. And obviously, with Palo Alto and Autohome, you know, like you don't know. I mean, this could be big winners. They could come back down, but there's still the earnings gap if it does surge higher. So just be very careful, because some of these stocks have not had great earnings, and so you know, you just want to be careful in that situation, unless you do an option strategy. And you know, it's a little late for that on some of these.
Right. There's always that additional risk presented with earnings, but we have been talking in the past weeks about our gap up strategy and how you can look at those intraday charts to help figure out if the stock is going to be able to hold those gains throughout the day. So kind of giving you a leg up on maybe what to expect for that following session.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Make sure you are subscribed to our notifications across social media so you can get alerts whenever we go on the air. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter/Periscope, and we also have a presence on Instagram, so make sure you are following and subscribing for all the latest. And be sure to head to investors.com for the latest stock news and analysis, and we'll see you back here at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern tomorrow.